beard's looking strong in that.
Come on, man.
You still got the
Yeah, we got the
thing?
oil. I'm releasing a new one soon. So I got a new one coming out soon. I got one here for you actually.
Is it, yeah?
Don't worry, I got you.
I would like, I don't know, because the thing is, this is like, my beard's obviously been longer than this before, but I've not had the long one yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing it, but I don't know.
Listen, bro. Go for the journey, man.
Serious?
Jump on the journey, yeah. You won't look back.
How long have you been growing your beard for? Do you trim yours down?
I trim it like every once in a while.
Yeah.
The dead ends and stuff.
Okay.
You have to look after it.
Dead ends.
Oh, shit.
What's in the oil though? What is like, what's...
It's an argan oil base.
Yeah.
And then obviously I got my own ingredient and magic in it. So
Okay. And it gives it the nice little glow and all of that
yeah,
stuff
it looks
as well.
after my beard, moisturize it, and obviously I'm gonna be bringing out other stuff like balms and my own brushes. So
Yeah. How's the street gym going as well?
very well, my brother, man.
Need to train down there one
Yeah,
day.
definitely,
still.
man.
I'm a
Whenever
gym
you're ready.
box man still.
Yeah.
Shout out to gym box. They should really give man a bit of the percentage off because I'm always talking about them and their PTs or whatever. But yeah, I'm West London, innit? So I'm usually in the
Okay.
one in Shepherd's Bush. But I've always thought about coming down one day in the street gym and just kind of catching a little vibe down there. Is it a membership thing or?
Yeah. £10 a month
Okay.
and £5 on the classes.
How long have you been running that?
Been running in the street gym for about 3-4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, coming up to 4 years.
Have you had a moment where you just couldn't be bothered to train so much though? Like, because I remember at one point you was banging it out.
You know what it is, yeah? For me, like right now, things are very like business oriented. I do all the business stuff. I do all the marketing behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? I'm a creative. That's what I do. So in terms of training people, training clients and that, I have trainers that do that. So all my youngsters that I used to train, they have now stepped up and become the trainers. Do you know what I mean? So it gives me more time. I've delegated time and it's actually helped me to, you know, bring the street gym to a new level.
Of course.
We just signed a 3-year lease with
Sick.
a new building. So we're going to be moving in there soon. That's 3 times bigger than what we got now.
Yeah.
We're going to open a boxing gym in there, calisthenics area, weights area. And we're also going to have a room where we can actually like a library. We're going to like be able to like help young people with a CV writing or, you know, interview skills and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's more than a gym. It's a hub.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I kind of noticed that a little bit as well. I feel like, you know, some people, like going to the gym for some people is like a daunting thing for them, innit? Like for whatever reason that may be. But like, it seems like what you've got going on is a bit more of a vibe, a little bit more relaxed. Like I couldn't imagine people so much feeling like some type of way to be there and train. Do you know what I mean?
It's an energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's character building. Do you know what I mean? When you like, it's more than training. Like when you're training, it kind of spills off into your lifestyle. So your mindset, your character. You know, I can't do it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. I fall down. I'm gonna get back up. So you're kind of building as a person, and these young people are building. So when when they're training, it's the energy that's in the street gym. When you come down, you'll be like, right, the energy of the place, like it's welcoming.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I have the young professionals coming down. Like, you know, Brixton's very built up now. It's very gentrified.
Yeah,
you know?
proper.
It's all of that.
Brixton's
But at the same time,
now.
we're still there.
Yeah, of course.
And we're still in the heart and we're still carrying on business. Our class, we have 120 people in somewhat like a class. And that's in one circuit class for an hour. Do you know what I mean? And that's mixed of people from Knightsbridge who are stockbrokers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're working out next to people who's on probation.
Yeah.
Or you just come out of jail. Do you know what I mean? So it's breaking that barrier of like, I'm from here, you're from there, I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim. We're all on one journey, and that's to better ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
do you reckon like in some way that you've like, I don't know if this is the right way of saying it, but like, have you kind of benefited from elements of the gentrification as well though? Because obviously I have all of these different types of people that live in Brixton and that now that like want to get into training and fitness and stuff like that. And because it's the cool thing, do you get me? Like for people that like they know a little bit about Brixton, but it's like they've moved into the area, the whole thing's changed, it's cool, there's a cool environment. Now like people want to be...
We're hood friendly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we get the young professionals there. And Brixton Street Gym is the business. Block Workout is the foundation, the charity. So we run a full-time charity working with 13 to 26-year-olds, youths on the fringes of crime, GMs, gang members. Yeah. And then we have the business side of it. the young professionals coming in to do classes.
Yeah.
The new gym that we're opening is we're gonna have spin classes there. You know what I mean?
Oh, mad.
And that's on Summer Leighton Road in front of the block. There's gonna be spin classes in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're definitely we're hitting both worlds.
Yeah.
And it helps because if we just do community, we'll be broke just doing pull-ups.
Mad.
And relying on funding. That's dead. I've gone through that whole stage, and like I don't like to feel like anybody controlling us or like we're begging for anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is more than a community project. This is more than a little community, like we're doing well for the community. Nah, this is huge. And this is something that we're gonna take north, east, southwest of London and then possibly all around the UK.
Yeah.
Because I know the impact that we've made and the impact in the individuals that we made and young people that could have been out here doing bare bootings and stabbings, but they're here. Man's actually building them as characters.
Yeah.
Young people who's been stabbed, whatever, etc., I now got jobs and going to jobs with suits and that. Do you know what I mean?
Of
It's
course.
mad. It's a blessing.
And that's important actually as well, because it's mad. Like the gentrification thing in a sense is just, I've got so much different opinions on that, yeah. But it's like, even Brixton, going to Brixton and seeing how different it is now, yeah, and how like, it's proper bad to me. But with that also being said, it's like, yeah, some people will say elements of it is cleaner and all of that stuff, yeah, and some of these some of the elements of those areas are cleaner or whatever. But I feel like people that are at the heart of it are being pushed out to a degree, and it's like there's this thing of, yeah, you're fixing an element of it, but you're not necessarily fixing the other stuff that is happening outside of that, and just pushing that. Do you get what I'm saying? And even do you know what? Even from a creative perspective, yeah, for me personally, some people might disagree with this, but for me, like some of the most creative things come out of a certain type of environment, culturally, music wise, artistic wise, everything, yeah. And I just feel like the more that you push that away and suck it out, is like culturally, for me, like it just becomes less fun. London just becomes less fun. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're taking away elements of, do you understand what I'm saying? You're taking away elements of what, like, how do I explain it? Like from an environment that we've built and we've made something from, now you're pushing everybody away. You take elements of that culture away, and it just, I don't know, man, it's a bit weird for me. It's hard to explain, but it's like, going there and seeing how different it is now is
it's
like...
It's different for what we see. When you come out the station, Brixton's changed.
Yeah.
But it's what you see on the front line. The coffee shops, the new builds.
Yeah.
But that's all we see. When you go behind the coffee shops, into the estates, they're not working on there. They're not working on these young people. They're closing down youth clubs, but they'll put a coffee shop on the front line. They'll open up a new Starbucks. You feel me? So they're working on what you can see to make Brixton look, oh, Brixton's changed. No, there's still hammers banging.
Yeah, of course.
There's still people dying. There's still young people getting stabbed. What are you investing in? And I'm like, it's a blessing that man has a platform to be able to speak and be able to bring the block workout and the street gym and everything that I'm doing. But there's so many other projects and community projects that doing amazing work in their community, but unfortunately, they haven't got the platform to reach. You know what I mean? Be out there and be able to go and like come on here and speak about it, or go on BBC. Do you know what I mean? So like I said, I want to put street gyms in different places and hubs. They're not just gyms. I want to be able to go to Hackney and not only set up a street gym, but contact all the surrounding youth clubs around the area and say, do you know what? Let's use this as a hub and let's all work together. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then let's make a change.
Yeah.
Let's really make a change. If you're here to make a change, I'm here to make a change. Like, it's not no fun bidding for funding. Who gets the funding? Forget all that. That's crap, man.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like the man them can raise the money ourselves.
Yeah, that's
to
for
do
real.
That. You feel me? But everyone spends their money different. Everyone invests their time different. So
of course,
my time I spend it. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously I enjoy life. I fly out. I go on holidays. I do what I want to do and whatnot, and I'm grateful. But man's core and man's foundation and what keeps man grounded and keeps man focused is man's community, like love, and just man's community, like that's what keeps me on the ground, and that's what keeps me focused, and not get lost in the lights.
Of course. Where are you from, Sweets? Are you from Brixton as well?
Originally from Catford.
Okay.
But I've moved to Queens Road like recently.
Okay, Catford's mad far from me, but that's what southeast, right? Is
Yeah.
that near?
Between Lewisham and Bromley, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it like down them sides these days?
It's well, to me, the whole of London's changing really.
Yeah.
But Catford's not really changed too much. Just like a few coffee shops and stuff popping up.
Yeah, that quick couple Starbucks and that.
Yeah.
You
like
always
two
know as soon
Costas.
as you see a Pret, or a Starbucks, you know shit's about to drastically change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get me? When
Catford
they
is-
open up the Starbucks around Halsden, I said, yep, it's happening round here now.
Come on.
It's happening round here. But I wish that as well, like, some of us, I know it's very difficult because some of the circumstances for some people it was very difficult for them then. But I think maybe one of the things that has gone against us a little bit is ownership. Do you know what I mean? And us.
And what we done with it.
Oh,
when we had it.
exactly.
Before the gentrification kicked in, what did man do with Brixton? We had we drove nice cars. We went Hatton. We splashed. We got jewels and chains and watches. But what did we put in our community?
Yeah, but the thing is, people did that, but did they do that with having solid ownership with like bricks and mortar? Because
we can definitely take steps towards that.
Yeah.
Of course, definitely. We can definitely take steps. Legitimate businesses, we can definitely take steps towards that. If we have the finances and the right business advice or the right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
But
we can actually-
what I'm also mean by that is that like when situations like gentrification starts happening, see when they start slapping in the Starbucks and the Pret and all of that, it becomes harder to do anything about the gentrification because we don't own anything. I always use an example of like, go to Southall. It's hard for them to go down there and gentrify that because they will own shit down there. Do you get what I'm saying? You could do everything around it.
Yeah.
And you can, as London becomes expensive as a whole anyway, everything around there becomes more expensive too. So the cost of living and all of that, and even the property that they may have, but they bought it. They still had the mindset to be able to do that. I think we, for whatever reason, we just never necessarily, a lot of us didn't have that. I don't know where that comes from. Some people might say it comes from home, a systematic thing that was put in place to have, you know what I mean, people down here and people up there, the class system and all of that. There's so many different things to unpack, but when elements of gentrification and stuff like that happen or start creeping in, it's difficult if you don't own anything.
Very difficult.
If you don't own anything. Do you know what I mean?
Very difficult.
But I also want to say as well, just on a quick one, early congratulations to you as well, because I know you're expecting.
Powers kid.
How did that feel when you found out that you was
Life
having?
changer, man.
I bet.
My why changed.
Yeah.
My why I woke up in the morning changed. You know what I mean? It helped me a lot in terms of my mind and to focus as a man.
Of course.
And then to keep on going and not to give up.
Yeah.
There was a point where like depression kicked in, anxiety kicked in, and it took me down a very dark place. And when I found out the news, it actually changed my mindset completely. And I wasn't only living, now I'm not only living for me.
Of course.
I'm living for my little girl coming into the world.
Yeah.
And it just woke me up to say, Raj, you know what? Come, grab yourself out of this. Like, let's keep on going. Your man's got work to do.
100%. It's mad. Like, I remember doing everyone knows Poet's got twins, but we were recording when he found out that he was having them, and like I think it was very difficult for him to explain because it's like I haven't gone through it myself. I don't know if you have kids or sweets, but you know, anyone that I speak to, the first thing that they say when they find out that they're having one is straight away the why changes. Like immediately it's not so much about you anymore. It's about the nurturing of the blessing that is about to come through.
Come on.
And I think that like now, because it seems like we're becoming a lot more aware about what has been happening in society and how we've been feeling ourselves, I'm hoping for a lot of people that reflects in their parenting now. Do you get what I'm saying? I know that we're going to talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing with the man talk and that, but you know, there's like all of these things that we were grown up to believe how certain things were and how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to feel and all of that. I guess when you have a child, would you say now that your mindset in how you would raise that child today would be a lot different to how it was when you was naturally a bit younger?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I never grew up with my father around at a young age. And I turned to a lot of stuff around me I never really had guidance like that in terms of a father figure for me. And that kind of led me down a wrong path. Do you know what I mean? So me, when my daughter comes into the world, I'm going to make sure she's got the right diet. You know what I mean? I'm not just saying what she puts in her stomach, in her mind. You know what I mean? What she reads, what she listens to. Do you know what I mean? What kind of conversations is happening around her? Do you know what I mean? What kind of music's playing around her? You know what I mean? I'm going to make sure that, you know, like you said, man, nurture.
Yeah, of course.
Same way man nurture ventures, business ideas and whatnot. This is a human being. This is my little princess that's going to be a queen. Like, man has to nurture her, make sure she's got all the tools and all the... Man going to give her as much knowledge as man can. You know what I mean? And that's all man can do. And at the same time, this is my first child. So I'm ready to learn to be the best father I can be.
Yeah.
And the best role model I can be and lead by example. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's all
Leading
man can do, seriously.
That for real. That is all you can do, bro. But that is a massive blessing, bro. I hope one day I get involved in that. Seriously. I feel like I've never really thought about that before. I've just been living in it.
Yeah.
I've just been living. But then I think now, like getting a little bit older in that, and like my friends and that having kids and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a different side to me that's come out with that, to be fair. I play with kids differently now. Like before, when I was like, you know, when you just see kids and stuff like that, you might, what's going on? You're all right. Yeah, boom, go and do your thing, kick the ball or whatever. Oh, yeah, you look cute, blah, blah, blah. Now I want to play. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, oh, what's this? Let's play, let's do Legos together. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's my whole thing with kids now is very different to how it was. I think that might even translate in how I am with my brothers, to be fair. Like I'm very, very much involved in their mindset and how they think about things and have conversations with them about, you know, some people might say very deep things at a young age, but I feel like sometimes some of these things are quite important. Like I'm curious to find out what type of things they're digesting. Like what kind of conversations are you having? What's going on in the playground? What's happening outside? Yeah, but at the same time, in a relaxed type of way, like not in a way where I'm telling them you have to do this and you have to think this, but in a way where it's like, okay, they're telling me about something, but I want to understand why they think that way and why they're making the decisions that they're making, and then proposing, you know, like some other solutions or alternatives or a different alternative way to think. Where I didn't really have that so much with someone who was like not necessarily a similar age, but just a little bit older. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really have that.
What age was your brothers?
They're a lot younger than me. So my I've got a brother who's 18 now, and a brother who's 13.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one who's 13 now is like, he's the one who will usually pop up and say some madness. Then I'm like, where are you getting that from? Why do you say that? Why do you think that? And then we'll talk about it, and we usually always have really good conversations about stuff like that.
No, it's crazy to get your head around just what they're exposed to like now.
It's different.
How much technology has changed the world in the time that like just with everything in the time that I've been alive, and just thinking as like children growing up, what they're exposed to, like navigating social media and all of those things.
It's
like,
mad.
Yeah.
They are exposed to some things that are just, I couldn't necessarily fathom at that age because it was so removed from my life at the time. We crack joke about some of the stuff, to be honest with you. I remember saying to my youngest brother one time, it was his birthday. I said, what do you want for your birthday? He's like, oh, can you buy me skins? Like he wants skins in Fortnite or whatever. So I'm like, skins?
What's up?
Bro, I still don't even know what that is. All I know is it's got something to do within the computer. Okay. But I'm like, what? Don't you want a physical?
Yeah, that's mad.
Like, don't you want me to rap something?
Yeah.
But he's like, in his mind, he laughs at me or with me, but it's like, in his mind, it's like, how do you not get it? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
It's their time
yeah,
now,
like,
it's their time.
like I want
This is-
skins.
yeah,
like, he's
yeah.
laughing at me. Like, what do you mean you don't know what skins is? Like, and I'm like, how much
I don't
is
know what
skins?
skins are for the
Bro.
record. I just know it's something to do with Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what the thing is? It can cost up to an edge note. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You want me to pay £50 for a thing within the game? That is, to me, that is just nuts to me.
mad.
But at the same time, it's there. That's their thing, innit? That makes sense to them. But like, I guess that's not so much within the whole realm of what they're exposed to. But everything's so online for them. They chat to their brethrens. So they don't necessarily play with their brethren so much no more, innit? They chat to their brethren through the computer and all of these things. So that's another thing. You don't necessarily know who they're chatting to.
Yeah,
They got brethrens in Australia and Austria and China and all of these lot. And like, you don't know the ages of the people that they're talking to on the other side. It's like, how involved do you get in that? Do you
Too
just
much
accept
going on,
that,
yeah.
you know what, this is their thing and you just try to monitor it in one, like, what do you do?
But I'll lock off the Wi-Fi, big man. The Wi-Fi getting no Wi-Fi. Where you gonna play? You can't talk to no one on the Wi-Fi, B. Yeah.
But then sometimes they can't play the game properly as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to monitor. You can't
you
take
gotta
away
find
the
another
Wi-Fi
game,
completely. You've just got to monitor the Wi-Fi. So you know what? Boom. At 9 o'clock, the Wi-Fi's got to come off. Because more time now, and I was guilty of this. Once mum and that goes to bed and I've gone to bed, I'm waking up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning silently and playing the game.
Yeah.
But more time I'm playing by myself. Now, these lot can wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning while everyone's gone to sleep and be playing with their brethren in China.
Active, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, so too much going on, man. Oh no, this world's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This world's crazy.
Well, anyway, I saw your thing, the man talk.
The man talk, yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It was, just a sort of idea that myself and Tora came up with. There's just not enough men in the world having conversations about real life stuff and things that go through. Like for me, what drove me to want to put the event together was last year I found out that suicide was the leading cause of death in young men.
Yeah, it's mad.
And that kind of like knocked me for six, and I wanted to kind of proactively do something and make a difference in that area, just regarding men and mental health. And I know a lot of people have been speaking on mental health the past few years, but I feel like no one's actually doing anything in their conversation or the actions that they're taking to make a difference other than raising awareness. So just, especially in men, like delving deep into what issues are, what people are doing to deal with their mental health or depression or things that they're going through. And also just with the platform, creating something that's going to sort of motivate and elevate men as well. So it's not just it's not just in the place of dealing with issues and dealing with problems. It's also to elevate, because I'm 31 now, and I've sort of been on a journey of self-growth and development, I would say, in the past like 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And I'll say prior to then, no one really had conversations that were relatable to me about certain things, like, oh, you should save,
trust
you
me.
should read books, like religion, another one. It's like the conversation is never relatable. Like, how does it apply to me? How's it going to make a difference in my life?
Well, this is interesting still, because, like, I guess I was told to save, yeah, but it's weird because I came from a good home. Still, my parents weren't together from when I was really young, yeah. And like my dad's side and my mum's side is very different, but my mum always grew me to, like, she always gave me that thing of being free and like to express myself and pursue my dreams or whatever it may be. She never put a hold on me when it came to any of these type of things. So she always told me, you know, you need to save, you need to do X, Y, Z or whatever, yeah. But I feel like sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong or if this is not so much necessarily for you, yeah, but sometimes, you know, like, it's one thing a parent telling you something, yeah. Sometimes a parent tells you something and you just can dismiss it because it's just the older person telling you something.
Yeah.
But when you have like the elders around you, if they say something, for whatever reason, sometimes it resonates differently because it's almost like we're a bit closer in age. And if this is what you're saying, I respect you because you're cool. So if you're telling me, rah, this is exactly what I need to do, then maybe I might take that a little bit more seriously. That was what it was for me. Yeah, exactly. Relatable. So for me, that was what I didn't have at all. I didn't have anyone that I felt that was relatable to me, that I felt that was giving me these gems and stuff. I started figuring certain things out mad late in my life, bro.
Yeah.
Very late in my life. I guess sometimes it's better late than never.
Yeah, like me personally, I don't regret the path of life that I've taken and getting to this place that I've got to now. But I just feel there's not enough conversations being had about real life stuff. And a lot of us, because 3 years ago I got into a dark place with depression and stuff, and prior to that, people getting depressed wasn't something I could like fathom and relate to at all. I was like, how can you get depressed in life? Like, you just get on with it. And like, I just thought it was something that wouldn't affect
toxic
myself.
Positivity.
And then also like I was feeling suicidal, like not in a case of taking my life, but just I don't want to be here, like life is long. If life was a computer game, I would have just switched it off. Like, I would have just turned off the console. Just that's how I felt at the time. And I couldn't get to what was causing or creating or making this. And it was actually a book, Charlemagne the God's book, Black Privilege, that got me out of that. But it was just being stagnant was the issue that I got to, and I got to the bottom of it. And I think now there's so many people living life and not actually thinking, what is my purpose? What am I doing? Where am I at? And just kind of going with the flow. And I think it's all well and good, but then in some people's life, it gets to a stage where they're not being fulfilled by life anymore. And I think like a lot of things, especially in the black community, because obviously I'm mixed race. I consider myself as black, and as the society, like there's other factors that we have to deal with as black men, being institutional racism, being gang and dealing with road and navigating that. Like, are you gonna keep up with it and be cool to a certain extent, but then what are you going to do? Are you going to be fully involved, or are you going to go down a working route? And then you've got to deal with the backlash. So it's just all of these things. And again, as men, we don't really have conversations, like deep conversations. It's like if someone asks, oh, everything blessed with you, cool, it's
you
like,
say
man,
just say yeah.
And
because we're warriors.
And even if you
ourself,
say you're,
you know what I mean, we continue to just keep going.
Well,
I'm a warrior, I'm going to keep going. And then therefore we don't heal. We push things under the carpet, and therefore literally we don't heal, and we need to heal. And we have to go through, like, we need to have conversation. Like, when's the last, but like, it's mad. Like, we'll talk about what's happening on a weekend, what's happening on our day, but we won't ask a simple question like, yo, my brother, have you eaten today? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people's waiting for that, like, that question. Have you eaten? Like, how are you mentally? How is life at home? Do you know what I mean? How is your mind? What are you doing to, you know what I mean, look after your mind? We don't have enough real conversations, man.
I think as well that sweeping the thing under the carpet in that, it creates, without even realizing it, you're creating like a subconscious bomb.
Come on, bro.
Do you get me? Because it starts building up, and then you get to a place now where you just want to you either express your anger on somebody else, or you express it on yourself.
Listen, bro, the same way the army, people go to the army, they come back and they get counselling. When man leave the road, bro, people need counselling, bro. Man need be able to have a conversation, like, speak. Obviously, man can't speak about certain stuff, but man speak and have conversations and like heal from what man's been through. These are traumatic experiences.
100%.
These are traumatic experiences these young people are going through, or they've gone through, and they're trying to get out, and it's hard. It's hard. Like, man was once there, do you know what I mean? And that's the only way. Like, I'm the exact same person I was on the street. But I just have different values in life. Like same way I do the gym, and I got the hub and the community around the young people and that. I was on the road doing exactly the same thing. Like, literally, like, exactly the same thing, but in a negative way. Now it's just in a positive way. That's the only thing. Real conversations. People say, oh, put the knife down. Put the knife down. If I tell that person to put the knife down, what, he's going to feel naked? I don't know what ops he's got or pagans he's got, as they say. I don't know. Like, let's first have a conversation and ask him why he's carrying that, and then what steps we're gonna do to take, go away from that lifestyle.
Of course, because you could just tell somebody to put this is the biggest thing, yeah, that I think a lot of people don't understand. You can tell somebody to put the knife down. Okay, cool. They might put the knife down.
Yeah.
You ain't changed the mindset though.
Come on, brother.
You ain't changed the mindset. The mindset's still the same. So I put the knife down. I might pick up a hammer then.
Yeah.
Because my mind is still in this place. That's what people have to work on more so than anything.
100%.
This quick solution of you just have to just do this.
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't.
It's not
so
overnight. It's building. It's not overnight. We have to build, and way.
Yeah, there's traumas that people go through like in life and around, but also traumas that people go through as children as well.
Definitely.
And that affects the character and the person that you build and make yourself. And it's like sometimes a narrative that's created for you, and maybe how people see you as well, you just live that, and that's how you see yourself as. So it's kind of, in the Man Talk, is having a conversation about these things, but also exposing people to other things. So like, for example, we've got a life coach that's on the panel, and that's to speak about life coaches, to speak about like therapists, and it being there as an option. Because women, they if they have problems, they kind of unpack it and work it out with look for solutions. And I think with men we don't do that, and we just wanted to make it just, I'm going to say cool because it sounds a bit sneaky, but just it to be okay to be having these kind of conversations. And that's why we wanted to do it on a larger scale. I think if it was on, we've got, 30 men meeting up in a coffee shop somewhere to have a conversation about, it just wouldn't have the same impact.
Of course.
And that's what it's about, is making it's okay. Because there's people that are going through stuff right now, and they honestly think that they're the only person who's going through that.
Trust me.
Like the only one. And
of course.
especially with social media and what that is doing now for people, and it's kind of the warped perception of life, really.
We
really gotta it's like exactly what we're doing with the Man Talk. You just gotta push. This is people's life on the line. Do you know what I mean?
Literally that.
Literally, people bro. Yesterday was a mad experience. The leaflets.
Okay.
But I went outside Brixton Tube Station, bro. I gave out leaflets. I was by myself. At first, I had my hood on. I was giving leaflets. I had my hood on like this. Giving leaflets to people. And no one was taking it. Everyone was like, no, I'm good. I was like, oh, shit. Is this what happens when you're giving out leaflets? Like, it's the first time I took off my hood. And then people say, Raw, Raw, you good? Raw, what you saying? You're not doing the gym thing anymore. I'm thinking, I'm giving out leaflets, big man. But it was engaging. I got to have a conversation with them. Speak about the event and say, Raw, do you know what? The cinema is just up there. Here's the leaflet. Go online, get your ticket, come. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk. We're going to speak more about what we're talking now about. You know what I mean? So it was good to interact with the young people and the guys walking past. Can
I ask you a random question, You see, obviously you got a lot of people know you, and you've gone through, because I saw a video as well when you was talking about your mind state and some of the things that you'd been going through or whatever, which came as a shock to a lot of people, you see, when you're out on the road and you do that, when you had your thing up or whatever, and you're giving flyers or whatever, do you get an element of social anxiety, knowing that you might feel some type of way in your mind, whatever that may be, but knowing that now you're out on the road and people want to talk to you, have conversations with you, expect you to be a certain type of way. Does that raise a level of your anxiety at certain points?
Bro, like I said, the same way man's creating these platforms and the gym and that to try and help man's community, I'm still working on myself as well. Me going out there, giving out flyers, burnt me. I don't know what type of ego was pride was inside me, but I let go of it.
Of course.
Yesterday, when I gave out them fly, I let go of it, and that's something that I'm working on. I'm working on myself so I can become a better leader. Do you know what I mean? And it's bit by bit. So the anxiety does come, but slowly. You know what I mean? It's man's trying to let go of different things. And
ego's a mad thing for a man,
bro. It's crazy, fam.
Ego's a mad. I'd probably say that had been one of my biggest flaws. Ego, bro.
Come on, bro.
You know what I mean? I don't know, how people might perceive you at certain points. you can let that consume you at times.
Of course.
Because you think, oh, you know what, I don't want anyone to look at me in this type of way, or whatever that is. And
this is the thing as well. Like, that's only that conversation you have with yourself is like, you will see those things that you say to yourself as being fact. So, for example, I don't know, someone might walk in the room and then I create a whole story and thing about that. And it's like you stick to your story that you create about stuff. And I think like walking through life on a day-to-day basis, it's like we're not open to the possibility that it may not be the way it occurs to us and that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, this is such an interesting factor still. Like, I've mentioned many of times on the podcast as well, yeah. Like, one of the best things one of my friends ever did, yeah, was sit down with me one time and say to me, "Are you happy?" And what was weird about that at the time, which I've said, is that like, when he asked me that question, for a second or more than a second, I'm thinking, rah, why is man asking me that? Like, we don't talk like that. That's mad. He was like, "Oh, no, you happy?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, don't just answer it. Like, think about it. And then, you know what I mean? So for a minute, my brain is like, why is he asking me this? This is mad. Like, we don't chat like this. This is weird. And then obviously I push that to the side, and then I'm asking myself, well, yeah, obviously I'm not happy. How do I explain that I'm not happy? Because I don't know why I'm not happy, really. Do you know what I mean? But then in the end, I was honest and told him that I wasn't happy. And we had a sick conversation about just like mind state and happiness and all of that. And I think that probably for me was a turning point in self-discovery, because my mind wasn't in that place at that point. Where would you say was for you though? Because I know that you mentioned, Sweets, you said that like 3.5 years ago, you started going through that process of like self-discovery and whatever, but like how and where did that start?
I realized the power in conversation. I realized the power in authenticity, like just being authentic and where that can go in a conversation and take you. But as I said, like Charlemagne's The God's Book, Black Privilege, it highlighted to me a lot of areas in my life in which I was stagnant in regards to like meeting new friends, just like putting myself out there and kind of on my road to success. I had in my head, I'm an entrepreneur and something's gonna happen for me. I don't know what the thing is, but it's gonna happen. And I kind of just realized that, you know, I have to proactively do that. And as just with myself and working on myself and improving myself, I have to like proactively be doing that. I feel like I haven't answered your question.
No.
Gone off track.
I was just asking you. You didn't go off track. You was explaining well. But you're just talking about like this, that, the start of your.
Yeah. It was for me. It was, like for me personally, it was literature got me in that road of growing and being open to new things, new possibilities, new conversations, meeting new people, and kind of putting myself out there and understanding that, you know, it's a ongoing journey to, like, it never stops bettering yourself. Like you're continuously bettering yourself. And that was it for me. It was weird because I didn't actually. It was just because Charlemagne had a book out, and I was like, what's Charlemagne gonna put in a book? Of course. And I got to understand him more, but it was like I was in a real dark place, and that book was basically all of the questions and the answers, like all the questions I needed to ask, I didn't even know were there that I needed to ask, and all of the questions, and it made me really look at myself. And then I really appreciated the power of literature from there, really. And then I've been constantly sort of reading books and leveling up, and then realizing that, you know, a lot of the successful people in the world that like literature, that they all go through like tons of books.
Of course. It's really important to understand that, like, there's not a financial place that you can get to where you are untouchable.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Like, we think sometimes, like, you know, I feel real down because my P's mad low, and I feel like I should have £1 million in the bank, and that I should have 10 mil right now. Mm-hmm. This is where I always thought I would be. But you could have 10 mil in the bank and still have this.
100%.
That could still be a thing that is within you.
money doesn't change anything.
Of course not.
Doesn't change anything at all. Like you have to work on the individual and
gratitude as well.
It's working on yourself.
Man, you know what? It's mad. Like I said, simple things. Like, man woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Man's breathing, fam. That's mad.
I know.
Man went to sleep yesterday. Woke up. Man's breathing. It's a blessing. There's some people. There's fit people. Eat the right foods. They go sleep and not wake up, bro. And it's sad, but it's mad. Like little things like that, appreciation. I think that's what can keep our mind like focused, and that's what can keep us happy. And I think every single thing after that is that's a blessing, bro, in itself. Just waking up. Everything else is an add-on. Every single thing else is an add-on. The finance part, all of that. I think once you create that core, the root, the energy, you attract everything. You attract the finances. You attract the right people around you. You let go of the wrong people around you. Do you know what I mean? It's just you have to just look after yourself and your mind at first, and then everything will fall into place, man.
When you had like your dip, yeah, or like had that. Like, how long had that been going on for? Is that a thing that's been going on with you, like, since you was mad young? Or did you kind of, like, hit a space in your life where you started to question yourself a bit?
When I was young, it was on the road. I was on the road. Like, man used to be out there. Like, I used to cry because I couldn't find my enemies.
Serious?
You know what I mean? Serious. It used to burn me. Like, I was really involved. Do you know what I mean? And it was messing with me mentally. I went through a very dark place. It started messing with my mental health. It started taking me down a very, very dark place. And then I started obviously trying out. I was just searching. I don't know what I was searching for, but I was searching for peace. And I went through different religions. I went through different books. I couldn't find that peace. I couldn't find that until I found the training side of things. Do you know what I mean? And that was my meditation. And then that's when I thought, Raj, you know what? Man effed up the road so much. Man has to give back. And that's why man goes so hard for man's community. Because not only did man F up the road, man effed up a lot of these young people that's doing stuff now, their mindsets. Because they used to look up to man, you feel me? And they used to hear about it or whatever, that like man used to be like on the road and in the streets. And they used to look, man was a leader on the road. But man's a leader now. And it wasn't overnight, and man's still building as a person, and man's still, like I said, man's still trying to better myself slowly with the conversations that I have, with the kind of music I listen to, the kind of literature, all of that type of stuff. I'm trying to better myself so I can continue to like lead and kind of kick down doors and actually help people that's like going through shit and that's been through where I've been through.
Do you have like, do you have a brethren now, or like brethrens now that like you could honestly feel like you could just have like just unfiltered conversations where you just lay things out on the table about how you feel and whatever now? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
and one of them is Carl Loco, my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been there from OC Mitesfield days. Do you know what I mean? That was my brother, and like, we don't see each other as much as man would, but when we do link up, the energy and the love is still there, and we can have real conversations. Yeah.
How much would you say that's benefited you?
It helps. It keeps me in line. And when I met Sweets, it was good. We started from he done a logo for me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And then we started do the photography and the graphics, and then helping with the street gym. And then we just started having conversations about obviously depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And then obviously the man talk come about.
Yeah.
And it was literally February we were speaking about the man talk and putting it together. It wasn't something we've had in the pipeline or in the plan for a long time. February was when we...
Man definitely wanted to do something along the line. I just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But when he come along, it was just raw. Yeah. It makes sense.
Of course.
Yeah. But man needed that. Man need obviously... I'm not the best at organising things and all that type of stuff, but he had the structure.
Of course.
He come and he added something.
That's how
and then we
team
came
works.
together and we made it happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So big up, man. Blessings.
That's how team works, man.
Come on,
you meet
bro.
people in it, and then you meet someone that like you might have a way of doing certain things and not being good at like a particular other thing, and you meet someone else who's good at the other thing, and you've got something in common or whatever, which is good. But I think that is important, like what you're doing and having a space for people to be able to come and speak about how they've been feeling, because I don't think I'm very lucky in that sense. I can chat to my brethren, like my close friends, about whatever the hell I want to talk to them about on how I'm feeling. At one point where I was maybe a little bit down was that I never you know when you think you got like bare people around you and you think everyone's your brethren, like you're just mad cool with everyone, because everything's lit right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like everyone's the brethren, when things is mad lit. But you see, when you go in behind closed doors and you're in your own yard,
Come on, bro.
and you want to ring somebody to speak about something, it feels like it almost feels like either one, there's no one, or there's only it's very, very limited. Do you get me? Luckily for me, I'm in a situation where, like, with my close friends, we can just talk about stuff, and that's one of the most important things about my friendship now. Knowing that I can ring man and they're not going to judge me when I'm feeling some type of way about whatever it is I'm feeling some type of way about. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be the first to tell you, I wouldn't say that I'm depressed or anything, but I have some down days, and I'm really trying to understand myself. Someone sent me something one time. It was called it like had a word, and it had a description of what that word was, and it was almost me down to a T, in a sense where, like, I'm like, I can socialize with people. That's my thing. I can go in any type of place and just mix with people and whatever, But also, like, I need my own space. Sometimes I just need to be alone. Do you get what I'm saying? And if I don't have that time where I'm alone for a bit and I can just relax and just sort of be in my thoughts in a positive way, you're not going to get the best version of me. If I have to be around people all of the time, you're just not going to get the best version of me. Do you know what I mean?
Do it, man. I can't do it. I'm still learning
how to
be around people.
Yeah,
serious. Like me, like, I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
That has to be an extrovert.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And I like my own time. I'm a Sagittarius. I just like my own time. I like me.
Yeah.
But playing the role of being a social media influencer, to say, or whatever, I have to step up, and I have to step out of that shell. So man can actually, continue the work that man's doing.
Word.
Man continues to push out real content. There's a lot of people with dead content. Like no good, like they're empty content. Like we have rappers glorifying bullshit, and then we have people that's actually really doing shit out here. Do you know what I mean? So like,
I call myself a sociable recluse. I say that all the time. I'm a sociable recluse. You put me anywhere, I can mix with people. I could, you know what I mean? I'll go to a restaurant and chat with people and all of that type of stuff. But then I need the other bit. I have to be. I saw you tweet one time saying that you said that you have a habit of disappearing. You said you had a habit of disappearing, and that, like, you're trying to be a better friend than that, But that resonated with me, because I'm like that, bro. Man. Bro, I'm like that. We might talk, for a bit, and then I might just disappear, and I might not shout anyone. And there's positives and negatives in that. You understand that as well, right? Because when you're disappearing, sometimes you're disappearing because maybe your emotions are getting the better of you when it comes to certain things or whatever, or you might just be feeling a bit down. But it's okay to pick up the phone to your brethren and tell him, nah, do you know what, this is how I feel right now. Do you get what I'm saying? People that are close to you and that love you are going to be worried about you when they don't see you and they don't hear from you. You get me?
True. It can come across a bit selfish.
Yeah.
And we have to, like, acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of helps me from disappearing sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, Raj, you know what? Disappearing ain't the way sometimes. Sometimes you got to, like, try, like, have the right people to speak to and the right people to open up to and tell them why you want to disappear. Oh, why you-
How far does your disappearance go? Like, are you
Brother, it's only this year, yeah, that I actually had a phone number.
you what?
It's only this year that I had a phone number, bro. I never used to I never had a phone number. No one could call me. No one could
you
get
must
through
have
to me.
been.
My mum
bro, you must have been
couldn't
headache.
get through to me.
Serious?
No, I used to call people. No one could call me. No one could call me. And even now, my phone's on divert. My phone from the start. As soon as I change my number, my phone's on divert. Whatever phone I get, I make sure I go into settings. I change my phone to divert. I don't let no one call me.
Why?
I can't be sitting. I won't be sitting there. My phone rings.
Why?
Why? Bro, I just don't like people calling my phone. I don't like being accessible like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think I'm still working. I'm still working on me.
How does it? Are you close with your mum?
We thank for social media. You can send me a DM. You're better off sending me a
The
DM
DM,
than trying
yeah,
to get through to me on my phone.
Are you close with your mum?
Yeah, that's my queen, man.
How did that make her feel?
I contact my mum
Yeah.
regularly. You know what I mean? So
Oh, so she doesn't go without hearing from you.
No.
for time.
Every single day we're in contact.
Yeah.
Like even like man's out there ends, but you know what I mean. Man still keeps in contact.
Are you close with your mum, Sweets?
Yeah. I'm close with my mum.
Mummy's boy.
Is it? Yeah.
Thing. No, I wouldn't say. I've just kind of had a straight up like honest relationship. I've always been in communication with my mum, really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But when I was younger, I had a kind of falling out because she wasn't the. I didn't used to get loads of stuff when I was younger, so
Okay.
I had a bit of resentment there for it.
Is
Like
it?
all of my brethren used to get clothes and all of that stuff, and I didn't used to get all that stuff, so I was a bit upset.
Was that like now as you're older? Was it like a
It was
circumstantial thing? Was it like? Was it because unfortunately your parent or your mum just wasn't able to? She just didn't have it like that. You know when we're young.
Yeah.
You know when we're young. Yeah. You see when you see like your brethren just like getting. I always mention this all the time as well. Yeah. Like how like going to school and my brethren would just get a game on a Tuesday. I used to always think, how do your mum just bought you a game on a Tuesday? I used to always have to wait until my birthday.
Yeah,
I used to get 2 games a year for my Super Nintendo. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we just didn't have that like that. But at the time, that pissed me off a bit. I'm like, why don't I have that?
Yeah.
I think when you start to get older a little bit, you start grasping the concept of like, oh shit, this is kind of how it was back then.
No, but I had friends that used to get everything, like clothes, computer consoles, like just everything in abundance, and I didn't used to really get hardly anything. I remember one time I drew all of the stuff I didn't have on the shelf in my room, and you used to wreck me. But now looking back, I'm happy because it kind of motivated me to a certain extent, a certain way in which I came and I appreciated things when I got them. But yeah. But it's just, I don't know, life is a weird thing, like, because I think materialistic stuff as well, like, I think a lot of us put happiness and joy and that's going to make, that is the it. If I get this thing or if I get that thing, it's like, that's going to make it. And
the thing is though, how do you stop that? How do you, like, when you're a child or you have a child around you, like, how do you try to install the mentality of them in them for them to understand that these things are not important when ultimately when they go out into the world and they see their brethren getting things, it's like it feels like you're trying to pull a coup on them.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is on this. So how comes and then I don't have it, and then now you're telling me that it doesn't matter that much, but it seems to matter to everybody else. It's a hard one, you know.
It is. It's hard.
Because
it's hard.
it's so hard to try to install to like a person from a young age, like, I'll get it for you, but don't put too much value in that because it's nothing. Trust me. And you get some kids that get it, innit? You get some youths that just get that from a young age. They tapped in very well, but it's very difficult when you go out because they say it takes like a community to raise a child as well. It's like you can have good parents at home, but you're out on the road, you're going to school, you got your elders on the estate or just around you, and that all of these things have an influence on how you think and what goes on in your mind and what you take in. Do you get me?
That's true.
Yeah. I guess there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing really to say.
No,
On
like,
that,
shit, like for me, like, obviously, I grew up with no hot water in my house. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm listening, like, bro, man's coming from a mad place. Like,
yeah.
I grew up with no hot water in my house, cockroaches on my wall, like, bread and water. That's what man's eating.
Did you have a relationship with your dad later on?
Later on, yeah.
Okay.
My mum struggled, and that's why I appreciate her so much now, because I seen her working 2 jobs just to put bread and food on the table or whatnot, just to pay the bills and put a roof over my head. I remember when I was young, man, I had to pay to watch TV.
Oh yeah, shit, I remember that.
What
What is that thing you had to put a little thing in the TV
Yeah,
and that?
bro.
Yeah, that's mad. We didn't have that though.
I had a way of doing it where, where man watch TV and still get the bread back, yeah. But like I said,
shit.
like, those type of things scarred, man.
Yeah.
And growing up, man appreciated a lot. Man
Yeah.
just appreciated living growing up. But then obviously, man went from growing up and building downhill. But it's all part of our journey, man. And it molds us who we are today. A lot of people see the surface. They see, obviously, Chucky. They see the show. But they don't see the root where you're coming from. They don't see, like, the struggles and hardships. Do you know what I mean? Before this time, before coming sitting in a nice studio, mics and that, they don't know where you're coming from. They don't know your journey.
Yeah.
They don't know your journey. They don't know the cameraman's journey. Everybody's got a journey. And now it's only what they're seeing now. But, you know, we continue to grow, man. We continue to live, and we have to give thanks, man. We're breathing, and tomorrow, you know, tomorrow's not promised, and hopefully all of us make it tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. How are you planning on doing Man Talk on a regular basis, or is it like maybe a yearly thing?
It's creating a platform, so it's bigger than. We felt the best way to launch it was doing a large event and getting like 350 men together, but it's going to be a social media platform that's kind of constantly pumping out content, and then going into like podcasts and YouTube content and stuff. But it's just creating a space in which men are able to speak and say their stories. Because it's like, if I opened up and told you something that I went through, there'll be a load of listeners that can relate to the story and maybe not heard a man speak about that before, and it kind of resonate with them. So it's just that, really, just having authentic conversations. And I think a lot of people, especially like in black households, whether it's Caribbean or like African or whatever, being a man, like if you was a boy and you came to your dad and was like, oh, I'm down, or I'm upset or emotional or anything, it would be
man up, you.
Yeah. Like none of
Fix
that could
up, boy. Well, yeah, ball. We'll give you something for ball for.
Yeah. But these little things that it may not seem like a big thing at the time, or you don't even think about it, but what it actually creates and goes into, because then that person becomes, and there's no manual to life.
Yeah.
It's like you just learn on the job, and it's like literally you get a job and you don't know what it entails. You just got to learn as you go, and that's with everything, like relationships, parenting. When you become a parent, like everything, there's not a manual to say, oh, yep, go on to page 2 and this is what you do, and it's like. Everybody's journey of growth and elevating, it's going to be completely different and works for people differently. Like you know, fitness may be a thing that sorts you out and makes you feel much better about yourself, but then another person, fitness doesn't do that for them, and there may be a different thing. So it's just everyone kind of just sharing their stories. But I think that there's certain subjects like sexual abuse with children and things like that, like certain things that a lot of people have gone through, like things that have happened, but the conversation just isn't out there. Yeah. So it's all well and good saying, oh, you know, mental health and this and that. And even like with institutional racism, in the mental health game itself and prescribing medication, like black patients get prescribed stronger medication, they get prescribed medication. And even just the conversation of medication, like, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because they're seen to be more threatening. So it's like how a person like it's just how it occurs.
Okay.
So they're prescribed. Because my household when I was young was my dad was diagnosed as being schizophrenic when I was 4, and that was the reason as to why he was sectioned, and that was the reason as to why my household kind of broke down. And like up until I was a teenager, my dad's kind of been in and out of hospital. But yeah, I've been fully aware and kind of in. So it's been interesting. Like now, mental health and the conversation being a big thing, because it's been a part of my life for years. And even with me, I didn't tell no one at all. Like no one in my life at all knew. Obviously, my family know because it's in the family, and that's just another thing. Is like what happens in the family stays in the family, and everyone wants the outside world to think everything's good and great over here when it's not.
Yeah. Do you know what? Just hearing you talk actually, makes me realise an element of why there has been such a taboo of like mental health. And my mum's worked in mental health for years, so it's been around me since I was young, and like she's worked in like some of the most like intense hospitals, like Broadmoor and all of these places. And I remember one time going to one place, and it was like a hospital full of people who were clearly they were mentally not well. They all had different things going on in their life or whatever, yeah. And I think for me, this is nobody's fault, by the way. I think just a bit of naivety. I just always associated mental health with that. So I think for a lot of people, when it being such a taboo, especially within the Caribbean communities and stuff like that, you'd always feel like, you'd always hear somebody talk about mad people and all of that type of thing, When now you have a person who is not like that, but you having these thoughts, all of these things that are going through your mind, one of the reasons why people may feel like they can't say nothing is because they don't necessarily want to be associated with quote unquote mad people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And there's other, like, it's a chemical imbalance. So there's other factors like nutrition and other things that like, I don't know, medication is something I could go into, but it's just like, I feel now with mental health, like if you went to your doctor and said, I'm feeling a bit down and depressed and stuff, and they're instantly going to say, like, we put you on low dosage antidepressants, or do you want to try out antidepressants, when it's like they're not having conversations with you about your condition, where you're at.
What is your opinion on antidepressants?
I haven't got an issue with antidepressants, but I think that they're issued too easily and too quickly, and I think it's a slippery slope. So once you start a medication, you don't know the effect and how that's gonna how you're gonna be balanced from there. And then it's like, if you then become dependent on your antidepressants, it's like, how do you wean yourself and get off of them? And like it's close to home because my dad's been on medication, like he's passed away now, so like, rest in peace. But it's just like, he's been on medication the whole time, and then there's all of the other side effects, like him putting on weight and all of those things. But regarding antidepressants, I just feel like we need to speak about other things before we get to there. Like, it should kind of be the last option, because the diet is a big thing, like a big thing. How much a diet can affect your well-being, like how much like fluid you take on board and stuff like that. So
it's a spiritual thing as well, man. We definitely can't just knock that out. It's a spiritual thing as well, man.
You feel, yeah?
100%.
Well, do you have an opinion on antidepressants? No.
I work with a lot of young people at my gym that are going down the whole mental health side of things, and I only can say what I've seen work. And that is being around the right people, training and having the right conversation. And that's what helped me fight through a lot of dark moments, finding out what the trigger points are and how you can kind of deal with them. So dealing with your trigger points, that's what helped me mentally. And what it continues to help me mentally is finding out, identifying trigger points, grabbing them and be like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I used to get dark clouds over my head thinking, why is this? Why I couldn't put the nail on the head what it was, why I was feeling like this. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't find what it was. But this was these were trigger points. Trigger points, events, certain things that would just like spot things like from my past. Do you know what I mean? So
I wonder if ironically, we find it easier talking to women about our issues than talking to a man. Like, the reason why I say that is because, you know, like, obviously the woman's touch and stuff like that, you know, like that motherly thing as well. Like, I wonder if we ironically find it easier to speak to women about things of that nature than it is to speak to the man them.
I think for me, over the years, I've definitely like offloaded to a certain extent on women more than I would like with like the man them, but there's only so far. Like majority of the women, like the relationships I had with women growing up was like there was some sort of like something going on between us, some sort of attraction or something. So
okay,
like, I've only got one friend, like Michaela, she's not my friend at the moment. We've had a bit of a fallout. Hopefully, when this is up, we'll be friends. But yeah, no. But I've only had one female friend that there's not been anything more than like something going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I just think people don't fully like offload the stuff.
That's good to be. It's good to be able to, even in that dynamic though. Yeah, like even in that dynamic where say it might not be like your friend, but it might be it might be your missus or whatever. Like surely them dynamics are good to be able to have. I'd put it this way: at this stage in my life right now, I'd hate to be in a relationship with somebody, yeah, that I couldn't offload how I was genuinely feeling about something to my missus. But otherwise, I couldn't be in a relationship.
I've only been in one relationship that I was myself in regards to just being myself, being totally honest, like of who I was, what I was about, what I stood for, what my likes were, what my dislikes were and stuff. Prior to then, relationships, even girls in general, I've always been like a car salesman, like only sharing the good things and the good points.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, underneath there were certain things I was like a cat C, cat D.
So what, you was okay. You was a dream seller, but then the head gasket was gone.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh my God. Man was selling the whip and there's something wrong with the engine. I hear that. No, still loud.
That's what it's like. And I think so many people are in relationships and...
We are trash when it comes to that shit though.
Yeah, but a lot of people in relationships and they're not genuinely like them, their authentic self. So like when they're with the man them, they're a certain way. Yeah. But if their missus was a fly on the wall, it's like, who's that guy? Like, and I know that there are different areas and different relationships, but then it's like, where are you? Where is Chucky? Like you might be in a work environment and then you have to act and be a certain way that's not exactly like pure to the real essence of you. And I think like that's it's just, these are the kind of conversations and things I want people to think about, like just their behaviors, because there's a lot of pressures in life and things that we have to go through. It's always like just navigating in circles. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're at that stage now? Do you feel like you could be in a relationship right now and be open and honest about every dynamic of your life now? So not even just, do you know what? Actually, not even just your mind state, but other things that you mentioned before, like even things like finance and stuff. Honestly.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm still working on me.
Okay. I hear that. I hear that. You know what? And I'm with you because I don't think I can. But I do think I can when it comes to certain things. So I can be now, as I said to you before, I couldn't be in a relationship with somebody who I didn't feel I could have open conversations with about any and everything. Well, yeah, obviously there's certain things, you get what I'm saying. But like in context of what we're talking about, like I couldn't be in that now. But I think even things like talking about health and finance and stuff like that is still a bit of a touchy one. It's still a bit difficult. It's still a bit difficult. I don't know why and where that comes from, but it still is, isn't it? And I'm the same as you. I'm working on it. But I believe that like meeting the right person is a team thing, innit? And like 100%. You put these things on the table and you can better each other and
of course.
But and do all of that. Talking of that quickly, and I'm gonna do this every time now. Yeah, this is coming from a conversation I had on the last podcast. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do this with every guest. Yeah, so remind me of this, Callum. When was the last time you two went to the doctors?
What, for a checkup?
Just a regular checkup. Because you know what, we don't do that. I tell you, that's the next thing. Okay. We don't go to the doctors. You know, man, them are shook of going to the doctors. Like we go to the doctors at the very last. If we got a problem with our leg or something like that, we go to the doctors when we can't walk.
My doctor
Yeah,
is different.
we don't go to the doctor. If we got a problem with our arm's got to fall off for man to go to the doctors. Teeth got to drop out of your mouth. Your eyeball has to fall out of your head before man go to the doctors. That's terrible, you know.
Yeah.
Seriously, man have to have big lumps all over their face, big lumps in their their breasts for man to go. It's not good, you know. Man have to just roll and find out. You know what? Since I went to the doctors for my knee the other day, yeah, I have to get keyhole surgery and that now because I got a really, yeah.
Meniscus.
Oh, you got a meniscus thing.
Meniscus. I tore my ligaments, my left knee.
Oh God, I got a torn cartilage.
Does it come out of place?
Nah, not yet.
Mine come out of place.
It come out of place.
Yeah.
Jesus crispy. What when you was training and that? Did it hurt?
I was kicking ball. I was playing football and it just literally just snapped, came out. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let me ask you this, yeah? Before that happened, had you known that there was a little bit of a problem with your knee, honestly? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wait.
You know what it was? I ignored it, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
I did ignore it. Like I did feel little niggles, but I was like, it's just training, innit? It must be football. I ignored it. I never went to see physios. I never got checkups on my knee or whatever it is. And then that happened. So it was definitely like weakening every time I was ignoring it.
So then did you go and get it checked out? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, we have to unpack this. This is another thing we have to unpack. Listen, like go to the doctors. Trust me. Because the reason why, when you know that there's a little something wrong or whatever, more time it can just get fixed. Well, hopefully and ideally it will just get fixed quicker than it would if you wait to the very last moment. And I'm a hypocrite. I'm going to tell everyone this now. I'm a hypocrite. I'm working on me the same way Terrell's working on him.
I think the doctors are a bit ropey at the moment, though.
Ropey?
Yeah, like they don't really like.
The NHS is not a vibe, if I'm going to be honest.
Know what they're doing when they go there and give you little printouts and stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? And that goes back to the conversation we had last week as well, because I knew that I had an issue with my knee. I went to the doctors. I asked them for a scan. They told me that they couldn't do a scan, whatever, but they sent me to physiotherapy. Went there, did all of that for exercises, all of that. Went back, there was still a problem. They've referred me somewhere else, told me to do all of these different exercises for however many months. Did all of that, still no change. Went back. So what I did is I kept going back until eventually I got a scan. The scan came back and it said I got a torn cartilage. So what these guys were telling me that it wasn't. But you know what? When I got the scan and they told me what it was, even though I knew now I have to go for surgery, like there was like a big weight off my shoulders, bro, because now I just know. Do you get me? Yeah. So I guess I say all of that to say this, like you might go to the doctors because you got a problem with your knee or your elbow or whatever it is now, yeah? And then they might tell you something and tell you to go and do something, but it might not be that. So you just got to keep going until you get the thing on the scan or whatever the thing is that shows you with your own eyes and their eyes, this is what that is. If you don't do that, then it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And that's another thing that I would probably say that from my experiences, I can't say statistically, but from like the men I know and the women I know, women are so much better at going to the doctors and getting their checkups and finding out what's going on. And we talk about health. We talk about health and things that we put in our mind and we put in our system and that, but we have to take care of our physical as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's our temple. Man, I have to fix that, cuz. So ever since then, I went and did that. I went back again recently. Again, I got the doctor's bug now. I need to go and check every Ras Clark thing. I went there just the other day to go because I got a little problem with my nose. I got like blocked nose and all of that. They're sending me to the nose, ear, and mouth specialist or whatever. Whatever the thing's called. I'm going down there now. They're going to give me a scan on that to find out what's going on. Give me all the scans now. I want all the scans. I need to find out what's happening. And then after that, we're good again. We have to do it, bro. I'll go to the doctors tomorrow, cuz.
No, I need to.
Oh man, but
Keep up to date with this stuff. It's true.
bro, I'm telling you, bro. Seriously,
Yeah, no, it's true. We do definitely need to like keep up to date.
big and serious, bro. It's not a joke, man.
Then
Like,
it's all of that.
yeah, that's
All
it.
of them thing there. Yeah.
We don't like going to the doctors and that. We don't want people digging up in our mouths and all of these type of things. But sometimes you might.
Look after ourselves.
But yeah, you got to do that. And again, I'm a hypocrite. I used to go to the doctors at the dentist, even then at the last moment.
Yeah.
Like my teeth's got to be dropping out. There's got to be big holes in my mouth for me to be going down there.
Well, that happened to me a couple months ago.
Is it?
Yeah, my tooth just started hurting, and then they had to rip out my tooth, bro.
See what I'm saying? And the thing is, where you are lucky, which some people don't have, is like you got resources that you can use to your benefit. Do you get what I'm saying? Definitely. You got over 200k followers. There's got to be one dental hygienist or whatever in there that would pattern you up for mad cheap or even free. Do you get what I'm saying? Resources. We've got to use them.